and welcome to NTA Nationwide, coming to you live on the network service of the NTA in the nation's capital, Abuja. My name is Jumba Yusuf. Despite increasing number of governors who transit to the Senate, guests on NTA's flagship program, Good Morning Nigeria, have projected that the number may increase further by the year 2019. Head of Center for Legislative Studies and Research in Africa, Dr. Usman Mohammed, noted that half of the Senate will be dominated by former governors. Garba Mohammed Nata'ala reports.
2023, we will see a Senate in 2027 that will be populated by almost half the Senate.
That is the CEO of Center for Legislative Studies and Research in Africa, speaking on the Senate considered as a retirement destination for governors in the country. Such trend, he said, will not augur well for democracy, only if former governors are accountable and competent.
When you look at even the governors that battled legislatures at their state and hindered good laws and couldn't even give a very good budget a chance to be implemented for the common man, then there is a problem for them populating the Senate.
Although the governors have constitutional rights to vie for seats in the legislature, other guests say political parties need to ensure transparency for meaningful development to be impacted at all levels.
Yes, they have sponsored so many bills. What they are there about? Of what relevance are these bills? And how come we don't even know about these bills? And how come we didn't hear about the debates leading up to the passage of these bills into law?
In most instances, in most places, determine and dictate who goes to either state assembly or national assembly because of the weak party structure that we have.
Aside having experience of administering state affairs, the guests commended the contributions of the 8th Assembly, describing it as worthwhile.
They have made serious contribution, and the lawyer there will agree with me that it's not easy to sponsor a bill. It's not easy for you to even have a bill to pass the first reading and then to pass the second reading. These guys have tried. Kabir Gaya also have tried. He has his own bills here that I've itemized.
The guests emphasized that ex-governors should be more proactive to legislate for the present and future needs of the people. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Natala, NTA News.
The Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has decimated a Boko Haram with scores of the terrorists at Bogom in northern Borno State. The Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commander Ibikunle Daramola, says that intelligence reports reveal significant activities of the Boko Haram terrorists within the settlement. In quick response, the Air Task Force deployed 2 Mi-35 helicopter gunships to engage the identified positions and concentration areas in successive waves with direct hits recorded, leading to neutralization of several of the terrorists, while the few survivors were tracked and mopped up in subsequent follow-up attacks. The Nigerian Air Force, working in synergy with ground forces, says it will continue to sustain the tempo of operations with a view towards destroying the remnants of the terrorists on the fringes of Lake Chad and other areas in northern Borno State. The 2018 Gulf Information Technology Exhibition has opened in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, with Nigeria showcasing its latest technological inventions in energy, health, education and real estate. Chidimma Ndubisi reports.
The 38th edition of the Gulf Information Technology Exhibition. More than 400 countries and organizations are here at the Dubai World Trade Center with some of the latest innovations in the world of technology. This information and communication technology marketplace is a platform for countries and organizations to network and shop for investors. The focus at this edition is on 4 technological areas, namely Internet of Things, smart cities and manufacturers, as well as augmented and visual reality. Nigeria came ready with the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, other ICT-related agencies and regulators storming the world scene with the nation's young innovators who are displaying ICT solutions.
It's an energy management system. Our system works by connecting your appliances to the internet. So if you have heavy loads that is causing you to pay a lot of bills, our system can help you save costs by switching them off when you don't need to use them.
The land registry platform that enable government provide the land-related services in a transparent and effective manner.
The innovations are many. Some is in agriculture, some in education, some in health. They usually come up with some ideas. Some ideas are implemented, some are in the pipeline. The wisdom behind bringing them is for the potential investors to see the startup and see whether they are willing to invest.
In an interface with other countries and organizations, the Director General
They made this commitment at the 4th Binational Commission meeting in Algiers, the Algerian capital. Foreign Desk correspondent Makut Simon Masham reports.
Algeria share formidable relations that have seen the two nations working together on issues of common interest. They set up a binational commission in 2001, which has met 3 times until this 4th meeting, which is holding in Algiers. Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyama is leading Nigeria's delegation to the meeting, where commitments are again revisited in key areas such as trade, peace and security, water, agriculture, energy, as well as communication. Apart from discussing over a wide range of issues, the representatives of the two countries signed agreements on water management and standardization that are key to economic relations.
We believe that these projects can be game changers for not just Algeria and Nigeria, but for the African continent. So, for instance, we have the basis of a gas pipeline. It'll be it's going to give our gas exporters an opportunity to access the European market more directly, and other areas like trade and industry, how we can cooperate. So these are 2 big African countries, and we really need to take advantage of the comparative advantages that each country has to achieve win-win benefits and solutions for our 2 countries, and indeed also for the African continent.
And I ask all the businessmen to visit Algeria. I'm talking about the Nigerian and the Algerian to visit Nigeria. There's a lot of possibility. There's a lot of capacities between our two countries, and we give a priority to the industry to exchange our experiences. What can we do together? What can produce together? This is very important.
Earlier, the team of experts from both countries had met to analyze the progress on previous engagements and also look at new areas of interest that will ensure that the 2 nations derive maximum benefits from their engagements. From Algiers in Algeria, Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
Let's now join Elizabeth in our Lagos studio for an update on PVC collection and other stories trending in that zone. Hello, Elizabeth. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you, Jumia, and welcome to Lagos. Goods worth millions of naira were lost to a fire on the 3rd Mainland Bridge this afternoon involving a haulage van. Dotun Ogunyemi reports that no life was lost as the driver and occupants of the vehicle counted their loss.
At about 1:30 this afternoon, there was heavy traffic inward Iyanoworo on the 3rd Mainland Bridge as thick smoke billowed in the sky. A fully loaded haulage bus was on fire, and strangely so from behind. As NTA crew waited to ascertain what had happened, a mobile rider of the Lasema Response Unit had stopped to control traffic and called the emergency number 112 to the rescue.
It is unknown what the content of the vehicle is, but it took the fire service an approximate 15 minutes to get to the scene of this incident.
If organizer, an eyewitness to the event.
By the time we call and hold up there for road, I just try my best, carry all of these things with my hands to try to kill that fire. You don't agree to off. catch fires, explode. So some people, they are running up and down. So I need to park my car for the front, then begin to call a Lagos number. The thing where I see there where they carry torchlight.
With response of the Lagos State Fire Service averted what should have been a major disaster in Lagos. Dr. Obiani, NTA News.
As Nigerians look forward to peaceful, free and fair general elections come 2019, the electorate's desire is to enthrone leaders that will further develop the country. It is against this backdrop that Abolore Ogbara examines the interest of Lagosians in obtaining their permanent voter cards.
It will be recalled that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, fixed the deadline for the voter registration exercise at August 31st. However, that decision was greeted with public outcry as some residents of Lagos State revealed the hurdles they are forced to cross in order to obtain their PVCs.
There's a long queue, and it took time. I didn't do my own in a day. I had to come back for it. But at the end, I got it.
I have my PVC already. Very, very stressful. Waited days before we can collect it.
I've picked it. I got it since the first registration now. We are ready to vote who is votable out, to vote who we want to come in.
To get PVC is like getting international passport. And the way they do it, sometimes you pay a little bit before they can give you your PVC.
Not picking PVC is not an excuse. So we are ready. I didn't have the opportunity to get my PVC. The place was overcrowded. I got to the place, they said there are no more registering citizens again, and it was a sad moment for us.
Efforts to reach the Lagos State Resident Electoral Commissioner, INEC, for reactions proved abortive. As the 2019 general election is fast approaching, it is obvious that Nigerians are ready to go to the polling units with their PVC to cast their votes. In Lagos, Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
Fish drying method with firewood and the discomfort associated with it is what a group of women in Badagry, Lagos have had to contend with for decades. Respite has, however, come their way when they got an oven from the Lagos State government to further help in the preservation of the fish. Paul Omokago tells us how this donation has added value to their business.
Badagry is a coastal town and local government in Lagos State, said to be the home of all trades. Over the years, the business of drying fishes as a means of livelihood has become part of Madam Elizabeth Odu and her colleagues who are in the business of drying fish before selling. There are prospects.
The people like this firewood pass charcoal, pass oven self. If you dry fish now for firewood, we put it there.
We need the heat for the fish. That is why we are using oven. So oven is not compulsory for the fish. This drum is very good because if you take that oven, dry the fish, it will be white. But if you take this drum and the fire, dry the fish, the odor itself is fine. The customer can say, no, you don't want this. And we tell the customer that this fish is very good, that you should buy it. You enjoy the fish. So we now be confusing this or this or this. You like it, just buy it, you like it, and the customer will buy it.
Blessing Akara is a regular visitor to this spot. She comes all the way from Festac Town, Lagos, to patronize the women that sell variety of fishes.
When you buy the fish, you will not buy to the quantity you want to buy because of due to the road. So you will buy a smaller one that you can be able to put on your lap.
While others crave for the Badagry fish, others prefer their bushmeat and other seafoods like prawns and crayfish, which are also sold here.
Women in Nigeria are seeking more empowerment, therefore are organizing themselves towards entrepreneurial growth. The network of women entrepreneurs at a summit in Lagos also asked government at all levels for more opportunities for them to thrive. Adeola Omokive, who covered the summit, reports that it had as its theme, Women Unite, Collaborating for Growth.
Nigeria's Employers Consultative Association's network of entrepreneur women, established in 2005, has metamorphosed into a force within the area of women economic empowerment. Women are taught the importance of collaborating to grow a business and become employers of labor. Some of these women with entrepreneurial skills from 6 states attended the 2-day summit organized by the network. Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Aisha Abubakar, who was represented, said the summit was timely and in line with the federal government's policy of encouraging the female gender to participate in economic diversification initiatives.
The government has established formidable structures and initiatives that support economic growth and foster synergy.
Pioneer President of NEW, Adenike Ogunlesi, urged women to discover their innate skills and prove they can get to the top.
We also are duty-bound to get up and show up and be committed to whatever it is that we want to do and build a more meaningful and prosperous Nigeria for everybody.
Entrepreneurship is still considered as a male-dominated field. It may be difficult to surpass these traditional views.
Other speakers at the summit, which also had plenary sessions, spoke to partnership for business opportunities, access to funding, role of women in polity through leadership and support.
All they are asking is that the federal government and society give more women opportunities to become entrepreneurs. The summit is also a wake-up call to every woman to collaborate in all areas of endeavors. In Lagos, Adeola Omokide, NTA News.
Time now to join our Sokoto Network Center for more reports on Nationwide.
Thank you and welcome to Sokoto. The Kebbi State Police Command has arrested 40 political thugs with dangerous weapons. Aminu Bello Kauji has the details.
The suspects were arrested in various parts of Kebbi State during the just concluded political parties' primaries. Weapons recovered from them include cutlasses, knives, hacksaw, and sticks. The Kebbi State Police Commissioner, Kabiru Ibrahim, said investigations are on and anybody found in connection with activities of thugs will also be prosecuted. The Commissioner said the police is poised to ensure political thuggery is dealt with as directed by the Inspector General of Police.
We are getting to the roots of it. This will certainly be prosecuted. They will be charged to court. The other ones who are going to be identified, we're going to arrest them and we're going to prosecute them.
He warned that not only the thugs, the police will deal with any group or individuals trying to disrupt the peace Kebbi State is known for. The Kebbi State Police Command had earlier invited leaders of political parties, aspirants, and other stakeholders to a meeting where issues of public order and peaceful conduct of political activities were discussed. In Sokoto, Amini Bello Kaoji, NTA News.
Religious leaders have been described as key stakeholders in the country's fight against corruption. Usman Abdullah Sheikh reports that the Executive Director Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society, Imam Fuad Adeyemi, stated this at a one-day sensitization workshop for imams and ulamas on corruption in Kebbi State.
The meeting was organized by Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society under the project of ITFIN, which encourages accountability and transparency through faith-based intervention. The meeting, attended by at least 2 Islamic religious leaders from each of the 21 local government areas of the state. Central message is complementing government effort in the fight against corruption for a better Nigeria. Executive Director Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society, Imam Fuad Adeyemi, said the objective is to sensitize imams and ulamas to play a vital role as key stakeholders in the country's fight against corruption, being leaders of the society. The imam advised government to involve religious leaders in the fight against corruption and appealed to the imams and ulamas to always
association held at Usmanu Danfodio University, Sokoto. Alhatu Abdullahi completes the report.
The 21st Annual Conference of the University French Teachers has the theme Regional Cooperation in Sub-Saharan Africa Through the Language. It brought together universities' French teachers from Nigeria and Niger Republic. During the conference, a good number of papers on how to improve teaching and learning of French language in Sub-Saharan Africa were presented. Speakers at the occasion advocated for improved teaching and learning of French language in schools across Sub-Saharan Africa. President, University French Teachers Association of Nigeria, Professor Austin Moyi, and convener of the conference, Professor Dahiru Muhammad Argungu, said, learning French and other languages will certainly enhance unity and trade in the region. Some participants who spoke to NTA News urged government in Nigeria to look into the possibility of reintroducing French language in the country's education curriculum. The conference identified French as indispensable ingredient for socio-economic development in sub-Saharan Africa. In Sokoto, Amini Bello Kaoje, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA News Nationwide. The news continues after the commercial break. Stay tuned.
It's not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
For years, the NTA has been promoting science, technology, arts and crafts under the tagged name National Children's Expo. We are set with another edition as we gather children around Nigeria, junior category ages 6 to 12 and senior category ages 13 to 18. The theme for Expo 2018, achieving self-sufficiency in agriculture, meeting the challenges of security and exposition of alternative energy as pathways to national development. Date, October 21st to 25th, 2018. Venue, NTA Headquarters Arena, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. We are set to celebrate the best of innovation across the country. For more information, please call the following numbers. NTA ETV, promoting learning.
The time has come again when we all gather at the Unity Forum to celebrate the uniqueness of our cultural diversity and showcase the beauty of our cultural creativity and ingenuity. It's the National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST, in the Garden City of Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Come, let's celebrate our culture and heritage. Hold it 20th to 27th October 2018. Special features, dance drama, traditional wrestling, indigenous textiles and cuisine, arts and crafts exhibition, entrepreneurship roundtable, skills acquisition, and many more. 20th to 27th October 2018. Be a part of history. It's NAFEST Rivers 2018, the festival that unites the nation. Otumba Olusegun Runshewe, DG National Council for Arts and Culture, announced.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Welcome back to NTA Nationwide. Any political party that fails to submit its list of candidates on or before 12 midnight on Thursday stands the risk of not participating in the 2019 general elections. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu said this at the ECOWAS Network of Electoral Commission, ECONEC, in Abuja. Mayor Ogidi reports.
Party primaries literally marks the end of internal politics, making those apolitical to feel as if the political space is on holidays, waiting for the 90 days to the election to embark on full electioneering campaigns. Beneath, however, is the sensitive issue of submission of candidates by the 89 political parties before the end of 18th of of Electoral Commissions, ECONET, advised electoral umpires in the West African sub-region to be mindful of the consequences of flawed elections.
Well-conducted election is a recipe for peace, progress, and development. A badly conducted election is a recipe for chaos and even civil war. But we are committed to ensuring that we conduct credible elections for peace, order, and good governance of our countries and the sub-region.
A document on the need to scale down the rising cost of election administration is to be validated by the Commission. Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the All Progressive Congress says matters arising from the just concluded primary elections will be adequately addressed so that party members will remain united and committed agents of progressive politics. Director organizing of the APC, Kyari Abubakar, addressing a group of party supporters at the party headquarters, urged them to have faith in the National Primary Election Appeal Committee. Political correspondent Saliu Abdullahi reports.
After a nationwide primaries by the governing All Progressives Congress and in line with the party and the electoral guidelines, names of candidates who emerged winners will be presented to the Independent National Electoral Commission before the 18th October 2018. This is after the party carefully examined all complaints arising from the primary elections.
Why we left PDP to APC is because of impunity and injustice. Now, the national chairman of our party should do the right thing.
Is fighting to liberate us from poverty. Is fighting to liberate us from impunity that is being perpetuated.
As the Professor Osereme Osumbo-led National Primary Appeals Committee result is being awaited, the National Secretariat of the APC has continued to play host to some of the aspirants that participated in the just concluded exercise.
I bought my form. I was screened. I was cleared for the exercise. And no reason was given to me why my name disappeared from the ballot. So this is a question left for the State Working Committee of the APC Delta State.
An entire local government, which was my stronghold area, over 300 votes there, were disallowed to vote. As it stands, they didn't vote. That is the inconclusive part of the election.
As party members and supporters await the final list of successful candidates, political observers want all issues emanating from the primaries are resolved to enable APC go into next year's polls as a formidable party. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, will continue to encourage young Nigerians, especially those with innovative minds, to help them be at par with their peers in developed countries. This was part of the message of the Director General of NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, at Big Data and Entrepreneurs Summit in Abuja. Adebola Broxlin Sunday reports.
Edged on this hall are young Nigerians who have piqued interest in advancing technology for humanity through the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers to use complex data in becoming entrepreneurs. Speakers use the medium to encourage the younger ones to embrace software designs, clouding, and other areas of information technology.
AI presents that opportunity, and as we advance, we will continue to have more demand for data science and AI type jobs.
The richest men in the world are entrepreneurs. They don't work for anybody. So that is what we're proud to achieve, that we can actually do it. You can actually do it by yourself if you believe in yourself.
The National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, is one of the avenues the federal government uses to encourage young Nigerians with interests in ICT.
So we attend these kinds of programs, and other programs organized by other agencies also, and developers, so that we can identify these innovations that our youths are coming up with, to enhance the digital economy.
It will be very useful for me in setting up my own industry, my business, especially in the area of AI and Internet of Things.
Acting Director Engineering Bruno Ezirike represented the Director General of the largest TV network in Africa, the NTA.
Nigerians have been known to be very good in software development, and
And this is all part of what artificial intelligence is doing. The youth can key in and be part of that new development that will definitely see our nation going to higher heights.
Artificial intelligence, AI, is the area most of the participants indicated interest in. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
The Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board has donated relief materials to some flood-impacted communities in Bayelsa State. Fred Owefe reports that the board also partnered the state government in training 250 science teachers to enhance science education in the state.
Performance of students. Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, Simbi Wabute, commended the teachers for successfully concluding the training, as the future of the society depends on them.
Realize the dwindling nature of enrollment in sciences in universities, and if you don't start it from the grassroots, you're not going to get the right set of students taking science subjects in the university.
Bayelsa State Commissioner for Education, Jonathan Obuebite, assured the teachers that the state government will continue to create an enabling environment for them to enhance their desired capacity.
I can see through the teachers the knowledge that has been imparted in them. What the local content board is doing is capacity building.
Some of the teachers expressed optimism that the training will improve their careers. The executive team of the board, however, visited some internally displaced persons in Amasuma, Tumbia, and Igbogene communities, respectively, and donated relief materials to flood victims. Items distributed were foodstuff, toiletries, beverages, mosquito nets, mattresses, and pillows. Beneficiaries commended the board for the gesture and promised to put the items into judicious use.
We are indeed bankrupt with adequate words to express our sincere appreciation.
We thank them so much.
More communities are expected to benefit from the gesture. Fred Owefe, NTA News.
Thank you, Fred, for that report. In the meantime, sequel to the declaration of a state of national disaster in more than 5 states of the country, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has deployed monitoring teams led by its Director of Search and Rescue, Air Commander Akugbe Iyamu, to close up the gaps in the distribution of more relief items to the affected areas. The team, during their visit to Asaba Delta State, made strong commitment to ensure direct distribution of relief items to people that are actually in need. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports.
In one of the IDP camps in Ogbafo, where a total of 1,144 IDPs are taking refuge, the NEMA Director for Search and Rescue and other officials joined the IDPs for breakfast. This is in order to give them a sense of belonging.
For camp, and this is the breakfast that we prepared for.
While addressing the IDPs in various camps, Air Commander Iyamu reassured them of the agency's commitment to the strict monitoring of the direct distribution of relief items to them. He said farmland destruction assessment teams have been dispatched to various communities affected by the flood. Findings by the teams, he explained, will lead to actionable recommendations to the federal government on a possible compensation.
What the DG is saying is that this thing must get to the people on the ground, not through any middleman or anything. Taking material from the warehouse, distribution, you must include SEMA, Red Cross, and other stakeholders. You will report to headquarters every day.
And as I see the presence of the federal government here, I know that our conditions here will improve.
Some of the IDPs thanked the federal and state government for the proactive intervention.
Very, very well. I'm very, very happy.
As we program in Geneva, Switzerland, Joy Osiagu reports that Nigeria's Federal High Commissioner for Refugees, Migrants and IDPs, Saidia Umar Farouk, also requested that UN agencies should assist Nigeria in the resettlement process.
United Nations member states are here to gauge the current national humanitarian response mechanism in comparison to what is obtainable in other parts of the world and international best practice.
Excellency,
Nigeria's Sadia Umar Farouk highlighted the nation's efforts, stressing that it carries out protection monitoring activities to identify the needs of refugees and internally displaced persons in the country.
Host communities in Nigeria continue to share their limited resources with refugees and have made farmlands and petty jobs available to some of the refugees. Core assistance, however, is becoming tense as local resources have been overstretched for more than 8 months since the beginning of the influx.
She also asked for the support of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and other UN agencies in the management of internally displaced persons in Nigeria.
Currently, there are approximately 1.9 million internally displaced persons in Nigeria, mainly in the northeast region, which has become a situation of serious protracted displacement. Nigeria IDPs face numerous challenges such as lack of adequate water, shelter, food and education facilities for displaced children. They also face protection challenges as many of them are subjected to sexual and gender-based violence.
Nigeria is looking forward to the adoption of the Global Compact on Refugees in New York by the end of the year. Joy Usiago, NTA News.
Navy inaugurates 65 midshipmen. Let's join Mina in our Port Harcourt studios for details of these and other stories making the rounds in that zone. Over to you, Mina.
Hello, Jume. Good afternoon and welcome to Port Harcourt. The Nigerian Navy says it remains committed to producing professional officers with the highest standard of military training needed for enhanced national security. Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas said this during the commissioning ceremony for officers and shipping of stripes of NDA 65 regular course midshipmen at the Nigerian Navy College on Air. Diankume Ulolo completes the story.
Out of 65 commissioned officers that were inaugurated, 5 are females.
During the period of my engagement or re-engagement.
Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas urged the commissioned officers to always maintain the strict integrity at ensuring maritime security in the nation. He stated that the Navy is committed to discharge its constitutional roles professionally and efficiently for the defense of Nigeria's territorial sovereignty.
Always bear in mind that you have been commissioned at a unique moment when our country is aggressively and successfully winning the fight against insurgency. And
for us in the Nigerian Naval College and indeed the Nigerian Navy, this event is a milestone, as it is the first time that midshipmen from the Nigerian Defense Academy have been commissioned in the college.
Some of the newly commissioned officers shared their experiences.
It's a great feeling. We thank God for everything.
Highlight of the event was the conferment of commission on 65 regular course midshipmen, unveiling of new rank as well as presentation of parchment of commission. From Naval College on Air, Yanukume Ulolo, NTA News.
To prepare the ground for a heat-free cleanup exercise of the Ogoni oil-impacted sites, the project coordinator, Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, Dr. Marvin Dekil, has embarked on visitations to the palaces of traditional rulers in Kana and Gokana local government areas. The move is also to intimate the traditional rulers with the successes made so far by HYPREP. Robinson there today has the details.
Towards less friction and effective remediation of the oil-impacted sites in Ogoni land, HYPREP is embarking on bridge buildings, consultations, and visitations to traditional and youth bodies across Ogoni land. HYPREP management, led by East Project Coordinator Marvin Dekil, was at Buababe and Kenkana communities in Kana local government area and Jioko in Gokana local government area, where he intimated their host on the implementation exercise so far, particularly with the successful selection of companies that will carry out the remediation proper. He further assured the people of the involvement of local content, which will provide job opportunities for them.
Embrace this project, own this project, make it yours, so that your land will be clean and your people can go back to agriculture.
The people commended the federal government for keeping to its promise on the Ogoni land cleanup, appealing that the same gesture be extended to other parts of the Niger Delta.
Every Ogoni son welcome to Isade to restore our land, to restore our life, to restore our youth.
Remediation proper is expected to resume soon. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Delatede, NTA News.
In appreciation to God for hosting a successful national convention that produced the party's standard bearer for 2019 general elections, members of the People's Democratic Party in the state organized a Thanksgiving service at Government House, Port Harcourt. Ogedin Yekura reports that the service was well attended by party faithful.
Members of the PDP from across the 23 local government areas of the state, led by East National Chairman Prince Uche Secondos, gathered to appreciate God at Government House, Port Harcourt, for helping the party host what many Nigerians describe as the most successful national convention in the state. PDP National Chairman said the best any government in power can do for Nigerians is to conduct free, fair and credible elections in 2019. He enjoined party members to remain steadfast and work together for the interests of the party.
It is time for us to call the Nigerian people. It is time for us to move together. It is not time for us to wag our tongues.
Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike said the convention in Port Harcourt turned out to be one of the best that the party had ever witnessed.
People were afraid that if the convention...
Maiduguri. The International Committee of the Red Cross ICRC is making an urgent and direct appeal to spare the lives of 2 adopted medical workers who have been in captivity for more than 7 months. The plea for the release of the 2 women, Alice, a nurse, and Hawa, a midwife, was read by the ICRC Director of Operations for Africa, Patricia Danzi, and Head of Operations for Africa, Mahmoudou So. Abubakar Muhammad Musa takes it up from here.
Hawa and Alice are both medical workers of the International Committee of Red Cross, ICRC, who have been in captivity of Boko Haram insurgents for more than 7 months. Director Operations for ICRC in Africa, Patricia Danzi, has, however, made a passionate appeal to the aggrieved members of Boko Haram to release the medical workers safely, as they are innocent persons who have been rendering health care services in conflict-affected communities in Borno State over the years.
We appeal to everyone who has a stake in it, and to all the communities, to all the women, daughters of northern Nigeria and the world, please join us in this plea for their release. Alice and Hawa are 2 young, dedicated women. They dedicated their lives to save children, to save women, and to save communities in northern Nigeria and bring health care that is desperately needed to these communities. They deserve to live.
While lending his voice to the plea, Head of Operations for Africa, Mahmoudou So, called on the captors to consider the release of Hawa and Alice to enable them continue their services to humanity. Hawa, a midwife, and Alice, a nurse, were both abducted early this year while in the line of duty in Maiduguri. Abubakar Muhammad Musa, NTA News.
Wife of the Inspector General of Police, Asta Ibrahim Idris, has extended a hand of support to internally displaced persons with donation of assorted relief materials. Yagum Subukar reports that the gesture was her way of touching the lives of those affected by insurgency.
Following the devastating effect of insurgency on the people of Borno, wife of the Inspector General of Police, Asta Ibrahim, saw the need to contribute her quota to IDPs at Dalori IDP Camp 1 in order to give them a sense of belonging. The Dalori IDP Camp 1, which is the largest in Maiduguri, has a population of 24,245 from Bama, Kandiga, and Gozalaka government areas. President, Police Officers' Wives Association, Aster Ibrahim Idris, said the gesture was born out of the desire to complement effort of the state government.
While we commiserate with you, we also encourage you not to lose hope as the federal government efforts in restoring peace are yielding positive results.
Receiving the items, wife of Borno State Governor, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Women Affairs, Yahaya Onkoli, lauded the steps taken by POA, saying the materials will go a long way in assisting the IDPs. Borno State Commissioner of Police, Damien Chukwu, commended the contributions of POA to the state. At the Government House, Maiduguri, the POA president reiterated her commitment to continuously assist the people of Borno, considering the circumstances they found themselves in as a result of insurgency, especially the IDPs. While appreciating the benevolence, Nana Kashin Shetima appealed to POA to always consider IDPs in their projects and solicited more support from her. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
UN Women, World Food Program and Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations have organized a 3-day training for civil society organizations and agricultural extension workers geared towards enhancing gender integration for sustainable agriculture and livelihood policies in Borno State. The program was held in Maiduguri, and Jesse Tafida was there for NTA News.
The training is centered on enhancing social protection through creation of employment and promotion of environment as well as climate-friendly livelihood opportunities with special focus on women, youth and vulnerable households in 30 local government areas of Borno State. The aim is to increase access to basic needs, significantly reduce malnutrition and strengthen resilience in communities affected by insurgency. National Program Officer UN Women Patience Nkem informed that it is important to support resilience in terms of food security and wider economy, which includes basic services for local population as well as refugees and displaced persons.
Our components of the job actually is making sure that we effectively mainstream the issues that affect women, that affect men, that affect young girls and boys. We're making sure that there's evidence to be able to program effectively to address these issues.
Professor Dolly in her presentation noted areas that require urgent attention to include security, health, education and social protection as well as environmental sustainability. She called on men to always stand for women as they are most vulnerable in society. In their goodwill messages, speakers lauded efforts of the organizers of the program, saying such events will no doubt enlighten the public on gender integration.
Going and closes September 30th, 2018. All entries should be forwarded to the festival director, Zuma Film Festival Nigerian Film Corporation headquarters in Jos, and or its zonal offices in Abia, Lagos, Kano, Asaba, Yola, and Abuja, or through the Film Freeway online platform www.filmfreeway.com. For further inquiries, call 0033146842, 08052728321, or 08063390420, or visit the website www.zumafilmfest.gov.ng. Zuma Film Festival 2018, December 1st to 7th, Abuja, Nigerians' foremost film festival.
Nigeria, a citizen participatory program, will soon be on your screen. It will transmit Mondays to Thursdays by 6 p.m. on NTA Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba channels, and NTA Entertainment, all on NTA Star TV network. Nigeria seeks to promote the appreciation of our